feel like it's something that gets released in your brain that makes you smell toast.
Liquid toast.
Yeah, and it doesn't just happen
It
You
doesn't just
dropped
happen
out.
what?
Didn't hear
with
you.
a stroke. There's a number of things that like smell like brain because you smell that.
You're telling me that
Oh,
at any time, toast smell could mean imminent death on any number of
stroke is the
accounts.
worst
So
one.
I should really.
But there's a
be-
number of times.
I
But
should
you can
really
like
be
pinpoint
afraid
it.
of toast more often.
If you
I was
smell
already scared of
mercury or
toast.
lead, both those things, because of the process that happens in your brain, will make you smell burnt toast, even though it's not what it
Man,
necessarily
but I've
smells
burnt
like.
a lot of toast, so like.
Well, also that would
that's
also be an
not-
occasion of which you smell burnt toast, but that's from actually having burnt toast. in
But
your-
because
So
I've
when
burnt
you
my
burn
toast, but
Who-
because
why are you
I've burnt
burning
my
toast?
toast so much, I'm gonna like.
How do you
Like, if
burn
the
your toast?
first time
Isn't
I
it
have a
quite literally like you
stroke-
put it down for a specified amount of time, then it
Well,
pops
see, I
up
didn't
to
always
your
have a
liking?
toaster oven or like an upright toaster for like bread. I
do
used to
you
put it in
use?
a toaster oven.
Put it in
Yeah,
the
but you
microwave.
can still adjust the time.
I toast my bread
Dude,
in the
mine
microwave.
mine was like no
Yeah,
less
and I
than
get
like
some
20
something.
minutes. It was like 20 minutes. Your toast will
To
be
A
done.
toast?
horrible toaster oven.
No,
you know how much money you were spending per slice of toast, dude? Like, there was a
Dude,
legitimate cost.
I
How
probably
much?
could have gotten my mom's hair dryer and done it faster, honestly.
Probably could have used all that money to buy.
I wouldn't even need to put it on the heat mode. I'd just blow cold air into bread for hours. It would be faster than that toast oven.
If you just run it under some hot water for long enough.
Yeah,
Have a
it will
campfire
cook it
and just throw in the
eventually.
Fire for a little bit.
How hot does water need to be
To
to
toast.
cook toast?
I don't know that something can be toasted by water. Should we-
I think it's the
Should we check it
definition.
out?
'Cause
You'd have to dry
toasting is a
it. You'd have to
heat.
dry it afterwards.
Should we find if somebody has toasted something with water?
But then you're just toasting it.
Can you toast something with water? Isn't toast the adjective of like
No,
Can you toast
boil is what you're thinking of.
cooking
with
something?
water? Toast water.
Toast
This
is like a
looks-
dry heat.
You guys see this? Toast water? This looks terrifying.
Hello, loyal viewer. Okay, it's just me clicking.
Well, this guy is already too close to us in the way he's
I want him to
handling
be
that.
I would like him to be closer.
Closer to the screen? Close.
Yes.
I wish he could come through the screen.
I wish he could slap.
She
my
could be our
ass.
first guest on our show.
Drop the like. We're going to drop likes on every video we watch on this just because of how much we love the community. But let's see if he has anything to say about toast
Clicking the
water.
refresh page. So it's winter. Time to snuggle up by the fire. This is the closest thing to real flames I've got.
The edits in this are insane.
Way
There's
better
so
than
many.
Jason.
The
There's so many
edits-
cuts.
Imagine if we were this extra, it would be like,
Dude.
Beep, boop.
We could be there.
We're going to do it right now.
Well, this is also only
Sure.
a 3.5 minute
Shit.
clip.
That's true.
And we are
And how
13
many?
seconds
This was
in.
probably like 12 hours of video, and he cut it down to 3 minutes.
Keep warm.
Oh.
Dress sensibly. Looking hot in my snuggie.
Jared, that was almost you. You were gonna wear the snuggie today.
Dude,
This
I
is
almost
this
did.
is Jared in 6 years.
Whoa.
And a lot of crack.
I
Oh,
don't
he's
like
got
that
a
guy.
Toy Story plushie in the background. That's sick.
I don't like that face. Is this more terrifying than Jason Werner's face?
This is
No,
this
Right
is
here,
intense.
this right here is not.
that's pretend crazy. Jason's actually crazy.
The only thing is the eyes are very intense. The ruffled hair kind of implies he doesn't care anymore. And then we've got this
Toy
big
Story
smile,
3
but it's
plushie.
only big on one side. He's
That's
Yeah, that's
true.
right.
it's making me
It's a quick
uncomfortable,
smile.
you know? Like
But
This
Jason,
video
got a
is 10
sense
years
of-
old.
he
this
could
is
be
like-
dead.
the look behind his eyes is a black hole. The look behind Jason's eyes It's
Is a demon.
It's like a murky swamp. You don't know what he's thinking. You don't know what he's about to say.
This guy's got passion stuff.
But again, Toy Story 3 plushie in the background of the alien. I trust him.
Respect. All right, let's see where.
But
it takes
he's holding. What is he holding?
I think it says multivitamin.
I think it's Viagra.
Multivite. No, it says
vitamin B. It's vitamin B or it's Viagra.
It's vitamins.
Vitamins.
And remember to take your multivitamin to keep those dreaded colds and flu away. Of course, vitamins are no substitute for real, living, healthy food. So I've got a plan. Now, I know a lot of you are sick of my half-baked ideas and cakes. This is a banana cake and pies.
What is... That's cheese.
What kind of pies?
That's cheese, my dude.
I think it's supposed to be dough, but it's really like fondant.
Cake and pies. Hasn't actually been cooked at all. But today...
That was
Yeah,
cheese.
that's just dough.
That's cheese, man.
I mean, it could be cheese to make it taste better than eating dough for the meme.
Kind of looked like dough, though.
Hasn't actually been cooked.
Jury's out on that. Cheese?
Jury is out.
Cheese?
He could be faking us.
At all. But today I'm going to whip you up something from this old-fashioned cookbook. Not actually all that bad. But first, an elaborate title sequence. You know, a lot of people say to me, Andy...
we gotta get that. We gotta get that. It'll be like,
we gotta...
Bop. We'll just reverse his and then put our name in. It'll be like,
yeah.
Bop, bop.
You're pretty fit. How do you stay in shape? And you know what I say to them? Skip a meal, fatty! Of course.
We would like to issue we are not a fat-phobic podcast here. We accept everybody. What this man says does not represent our ideals. He's very eccentric, and this was a different time, 10 years ago. I mean, just a totally different time.
Ago,
I'm joking.
Christ.
Yes, I keep
I
active.
can't believe
I
that
play sport.
2011 is
But
10
diet
years.
is just as important.
Wow.
And as a young creative individual who likes to express himself...
Oh, that's a breast pumper.
Now what we find here is a breast pumper in this region.
It was just called breast pump.
I've forgotten.
He's pumping it though.
He's got a lot of buildup of this very gimmicky humor he's got going here. Well, I'm trying to learn about toast water.
We
This
came
was the
here
whole
for
purpose
toast
of it.
water.
I came here
through
for
the
toast
video,
water.
and we have no toast water yet.
If we get to the end of the video and he doesn't have toast water, you best be sure we're dropping a downvote on this, okay? We don't want to have to I don't want to have to do it.
We
But
don't
if
want to
he-
have to be.
If we
the
got
third-
clickbaited,
It's like,
sir? You choking on water there?
He's dying. He's dead.
No, I was actually choking on a Jolly Rancher chew. I don't know if that's ever happened. Like all the sugar and the haziness in your mouth.
No, I've never had whatever you're
I
talking
figured I'd make
about.
this video to show you a
I want
recipe from
that.
my favourite cookbook. That's a lie, I've never seen this cookbook in my life. Oh, that's gonna rip my tits off. But it's old. 1918. So it's bound to be filled with wholesome, nutritious meals for your whole family to enjoy. This is the only old sort of thing I could find. You bitch, this isn't coming off. Today we'll be cooking from the Goulburn Cookery Book, compiled by Mrs.
It looks
Foster
more
Rutledge.
real now
But
that he smudged it. His
Yeah.
mustache.
Yeah, was it? This looks like it actually is a mustache.
But like a really
weird one.
patchy, weird one.
Yeah.
But it looks way more real than it did in the old
Elements
timey.
before,
It's kind of weird.
in the vintage era.
what to cook. Excuse
We're
me.
halfway through the video.
Let's take a look at
Still
our
no
options.
toast water.
Chowder. Chowder 2. No. Clear soup. Pretty sure that's
Toast
just called
water.
water.
Stop
Oxtail
it. Get to
fish
toast
We must
balls.
be close.
Fun sauce. Not exactly sure
We
what I would
must
use
be
that for.
very close.
No. Ox palate. Sea pie. Hodgepodge.
Come on.
Boiled sheep's head. That
Nah.
sounds gross.
This
Scalloped
isn't what we
sheep's
want.
head.
Come
They
on.
love their sheep's heads. Chicken cream. And chicken shape. Giblet pie. What is that? Pigeon pie. A wet devil. It actually contains 4 pigeons. No thank you. Croquettes of sheep's brains. Oh, come on. Rice mold. Ox eyes. That sounds...
If he lists 15 more things, he's done. He's done.
Dude, we are more than halfway through this video.
He hasn't
Still
even
nothing but
said
toast.
toast water yet.
The video is
Yummy.
called
Love-
toast water.
Total clickbait. It's already a clickbait, regardless of if it comes up.
I thought I was gonna learn 3 minutes of toast water.
I thought
Not
it was a recipe that took around 3.5
Maybe-
minutes.
Maybe it's a very, very quick recipe and it's just all built up.
yeah.
big-
Well,
big
it's found to
foreplay.
be a very easy recipe. It's called toast water, Cole. Come
You-
on.
Some
What
of these
do you
names are
expect
deceiving.
from toast water?
Yeah.
I think a 3-hour recipe of marinating.
You're making a
in
judgment
water.
on a recipe that we haven't even heard of yet. Calm
It's an
down.
old-timey book. They
I
put
don't know how old that is. It could just be
potatoes in
aesthetic.
water and called it stew.
That's called cooked potato. How you cook a potato.
But you
Jared-
drink the water. with
Jared,
it.
don't get us started on the whole raw potato thing again. I swear.
Everyone
we-
knows a real way to
We
eat
don't
potatoes
want to have
raw.
to go back to Mr. Warner today. All right, let's
Too
get to the
much, too soon.
let's get to the fucking toast here, man.
Love balls. Don't even want to know.
Toast.
Chicken panda.
I just paused it and resumed at the perfect time there. Just love balls as
Balls.
the introduction.
Love
which,
balls.
surprisingly for this book, doesn't actually contain a panda. But the recipe I'll be making today, toast water, is taken from the invalid and convalescent cookery section of this publication. That's right, because they don't have enough shit to worry about, they've got to deal with drinking toast water. Let's begin. Take a slice of stale bread.
Okay.
Drinking
Stale
it,
bread.
drinking it makes it
Now, I
bad.
thought it was gonna be like a. Okay.
I thought we were toasting the toast with water, but turns out we're making a bit of a bread smoothie.
No, yeah, I
Like a
I
protein
expected it to just
But more
not
carbs.
be toasted with water.
Okay. Wait, we got to the recipe.
Okay,
Why are we
yeah,
stopping here? Stale bread.
Shit to worry about,
Oh,
they've got to deal
rewind.
with drinking toast
go
water.
back.
Let's begin. Take a slice of stale bread. Oh god. The end crust of a loaf is better. I'll be using a generic plastic bread, so I guess we just wait for this to go stale. Toast till a nice light brown. But
Do toast.
I am pissed.
So
I
Wait,
am.
wait, wait.
I am.
Wait.
So
Pissed.
Stop it. The recipe is
You-
not done yet. The recipe
You
clearly
realize.
has finality.
You realize though.
the whole crux of the argument was, can water toast bread?
Well, we
They're
don't. Let's,
toasting it.
and he sent to a golden brown. Maybe he's trying to get it more toasted with the water. We don't know. We haven't finished it. If he finishes it and we don't toast the,
I feel
bread
like we
with
can't
water,
stop now. We've only got a minute left.
I am.
Exactly.
We have a
Let it
minute
keep-
left. We'll see it
let it
out.
run.
But let it
Let
be
it run.
known. Let it run. But let it be known.
We're pissed.
I am very disappointed
Yeah.
in.
Well, I don't know what you expected from
Go on, let's
freaking.
the Andrew Ward hour.
Yeah.
do not let
Come
it
on,
burn. Bitch! Or the toast water will be worthless. Yeah, because toast water is so... I didn't think about what I was going to say. Put into a jug and pour about 1.5 pints boiling water over it.
Ready?
I'm developing some sort of advanced. Some sort of mental illness is occurring within me as I watch this more. It's
Yeah.
different though. You know, Jason Werner, I felt like I was like, let's go commit violent acts of crime. This, I'm like, my brain's just slowly shutting down. With every cut, I lose about 1% brain. So when this is all done, I'll probably be operating at about 5 to 6 brains.
6
Then-
brands.
The
Which is-
recipe's not over.
What,
I want to see what happens. Let's see if he brings it home. Bring it home. Bring it home,
it
Andrew.
home.
Yum. Cover it closely and let it remain until quite cold. Ow, Jesus, that's hot. As warm toast water is most disagreeable. Surely I can just put this in the fridge. Strain and serve. So there it is. Toast water, an old-fashioned recipe to keep the cold and flu away during the
Oh,
winter
it's not
months.
even
And
about the
taste?
bread.
Shithouse. For the love of bacon.
What? Why?
So it was never about
It
the
was a
toast.
total redirect.
We just
Yeah,
got
that was
absolutely
a
pranked.
twist ending.
You drink
Dude,
the
See, we were
water.
focusing on the toast so much. That's what we went into. Meanwhile, the
Toast
second word is what he
water.
finished with, the water.
It's in the name. It's toast water.
That is so
It's
so
in the name.
disappointing.
Wow.
Water toast is what we're looking for.
I
I
think
just-
our question of can you toast water or can you toast bread
Toast
with
bread with
water was so idiotic that there's not gonna be any videos on it because I think
That's the best
most
way to
people are like, that's impossible.
Someone surely has to have done it, though. I mean, someone out there has to have looked at something and been like,
We're
I'm going
we're
to toast
pretty
that
free thinkers here.
with water.
As as to the abilities of water, we're
I-
thinking they might flip and be able to toast things. I don't think they're gonna acquire that skill.
I don't think so. This is something we're going to have to try out ourselves, I think, and maybe master some sort of scientific method in order to achieve toasted
Scientific.
bread via water.
Yep.
Should we try bread or should, you know,
I
can we
was gonna
toast
say maybe if we
something
use
else?
a water vapor, but I think the whole idea is the H2O sogs stuff up. I think that's the
Yes,
main issue there.
but if you dry it out,
But
What if
I
you
don't know how that is.
what if you flash dry a piece of soggy toast?
like flash freeze it? You just
No,
dip
no,
it
no.
in
Flash dry.
nitrogen.
You know how like
That
you
would-
can
that
like
would toast it. It would be
flash
crunchy.
dry like fruits? Can you
In a
flash
machine?
dry? Yeah.
Whoa! Wait, maybe that would work.
Could you
Or would
flash
it-
dry?
That would just make the bread,
Bread?
like
Would
thin.
it just make the bread a
Like chip.
cracker?
But that's kind of like toast.
That is.
That's as close as we. So you douse the bread with water,
Yes. Hot water.
hot water. Yes,
Hot water.
and then you put the bread in the
The flash dryer.
Yes, and then you have cracker.
pancake,
Cracker.
Wow.
Cracker Barrel.
Well, I don't know why no one
I'm
has
glad
ever
we got
done
an
that.
answer to that. We should make a
Probably
YouTube video
because
about
it's
it.
like 5 extra steps.
No, you
And
have to.
probably
Those are
makes
vital
a
steps.
much more atrocious tasting cracker.
Well, we didn't add any seasoning to it. I'm saying we had like
We could.
cinnamon, some sugar.
Just throw some butter in there at some point. I don't know when. Probably in the hot water.
Yeah, put the butter in the hot water.
Probably no.
That way it's
Definitely.
like spread throughout the cracker.
We could
Yes,
just
Yeah.
butter the hot water, or we could instead of okay, go
Just
with
spread
me
the
on this.
butter lightly on
we
the hot
we
water.
we cook butter to liquid state and cook the toast or the bread in the butter, the hot butter. Then we take it
Yo.
out, put it in the flash dryer.
then
Then
we
when
got
it's
butter
drying
crackers.
it, we've got like buttery crackers, and we can also season it with like
But
you
then
know
the water
your
was
salt
involved. And I
and
feel like we're losing track of what made us unique. in the first place.
well now we're talking butter.
Yeah,
This-
no, I know, but it's like I want to stick to our core values, which is making toast with water.
If we start using butter, we're using a
Okay,
different
well,
base. We're
I
making it
mean,
tastier. I'm
fine.
not saying it's
Then we
probably
do
make
the
us more money,
water, but we.
but I feel like we're
season
gonna
it
get
with
lost in the idea of what our company
But you
would
gotta
be.
change the idea. You gotta move forward with the times, Cole. Like,
Oh, you're
let's-
stuck in the past. You're
Yeah.
still trying to use payphones to call your granny.
Cole,
but
you're
she's
moving
dead.
She's
so
already dead
slow.
because she already jumped off the back of a train.
You're moving so slow that I'm not sure you'd even know how to wrestle free from an alligator, my friend. That's right. Welcome back to the Worst Case podcast. We're
What a
still
cold open.
we're 21 minutes of opening, and the worst case is back
And
and better than some. We're not. We're worse every week.
It's in our
we
name.
it's the worst. So
Yeah, we're the worst podcast, but we own it. Therefore, we are the best.
every episode we outdo ourselves by that episode being the worst case. The previous episode was just marginally
That's
less
true.
worse. So this is the
Marginally
new
less worse.
worst. Whatever you guys thought was the worst case, you guys got to get up to date because this is the worst case now.
Getting worse.
So this week, how are we going to wrestle free from an alligator, you think? Is that a common problem? Have you seen an
So,
alligator?
alligators-
Problem. It's in the book.
if I'm not mistaken, they like to like bite you, grab a limb, chomp chomp, and then like twirl.
The
Do
the death
Sometimes
the
the
death
death-
twirl.
it's either that
death-
or they do the whole back and forth thing like that.
yeah.
What's that thing called?
Either
The death-
or
The death roll.
Death roll.
seems like death roll. Barrel roll. Do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll.
Dude, that is a crazy strategy though. And
Because
Because
after all,
you're not only getting your like arm teared off or your leg teared off while they're twirling, but you're also like having a problem breathing and knowing which way is like up. Because you're getting like spun underwater
I guess
and
this is if we're in the water.
well,
Alligators can't
yeah.
hop in dry land.
Well, yeah, but I usually when I think of like it,
I don't
I
go
think of
swim.
it
I don't swim in
home-
gator waters.
home court.
Should we
You
watch
know?
a death roll?
Is this
Death
gonna be a?
roll.
He's gonna death roll that, John.
What is he giving? What is he
It
getting?
looks like some sort of animal.
Thank you, Winifred. I thought it was getting I thought it was getting a giant furry piece of romaine lettuce.
I thought I'd give what clarification I could.
Thank you for that. All right, let's see this
Keep going
romaine
in.
go down. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, death roll's like when it's trying to eat.
That water's not gonna be clean. You hear that?
We're gonna have to clean that. When's the death roll activate?
Very soon. This is a short video.
Engage death roll.
Engage. Calculating roll. Engaging. Oh.
Here we go. Oh, shoot.
Look at that.
Look how fast he's going too.
Whoa.
He's using his tail. His like, tail's going like that.
Oh, he's smashing him.
Man, when he
Dude.
rolled a little too hard, he was too tired to be able
Can you
to turn back
imagine
over.
He's got like your like upper arm, and he's doing that death roll.
Death.
Oh,
Emphasis
Well, your
is
arm,
on
yeah.
death.
After
there.
like 6 rolls, your arm is
yeah, torn
probably
off.
unsavable.
Yeah.
How much does an alligator weigh? Like, I feel like they roll, even if they grabbed your arm or whatever, you're like, my arm. But if they rolled onto you, are they just like crushing bones and stuff? Like if
No,
it's a big
not
boy?
not that heavy,
Not that heavy?
but in total, yeah, because their weight's not all in like one point. If it was all in one point, then I feel like it would,
Yeah.
but it's spread out.
Yeah,
And
and
I
it's
feel like
also
they're probably
like
like
how
800
strong their
pounds.
jaw is. Their jaw is like super strong, so they bite down on you. They're not losing that grip.
Alligators are crazy. It's crazy that they're like the last of the dinosaurs.
They are
Dinosaurs,
basically.
chickens are.
dinosaurs either turned into birds or just stayed a crocodile. or
Yeah,
alligator.
no, chickens are dinosaurs, bro.
Oh, yeah, and chickens. Yeah.
No, but like sharks and alligators just have evolved pretty
Turtles.
very, very, very little over
Turtles, yeah.
a while.
Crayfish, maybe.
Turtles,
I think you're right.
geckos,
I don't know about turtle. Nope. Now you're just saying
Humans?
Now you're just saying reptiles.
apes,
Leaves.
Nope. Not.
koala bears.
Democracy.
All right. I'm just gonna
What?
this train ride.
I think I
Yeah.
remember hearing when I was a kid though about this like swamp in Africa.
Shrek.
I don't know where it is, but it
Shrek swamp.
is the size of Pennsylvania pretty much, like this super dense swamp. And there's a story, I think David Cho tells a story about his experience going in, and it's like insane. But basically this place has been legendary because it's been rumored to house like dinosaurs pretty much, because it's so like old and just like almost the exact same type of environment that would have been everywhere during like the Jurassic Age or what have you.
Yeah.
They believe that like dinosaurs that might be a little smaller could still potentially be thriving in that area because it's just like their environment never really changed that much.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
That'd be nuts.
I don't know
I
how
mean,
they would have survived the asteroid though.
I was gonna say we discover a lot of new species, but they're all various species of things that we've like seen, so they're just like slightly different or like moderately different. Never like, oh, this is a completely different kind of genus. like that kind of.
Penis, I think, is the word you're looking for there. Actually, yes.
Like I feel like we know a lot of genuses, but the specific species themselves, I feel like the variation is what we're still discovering. Really, I mean,
yeah,
it's
I think
and
they
that's still
figured
big
out all the
breakthroughs.
all the main classifications and stuff. It's just like
I don't
little
think we're
guys,
gonna
little
find this
species.
like 9-foot tall sloth that's just living in like the swamps. Oh,
But
we did
that
not
would
know
be
these existed.
sick.
It would be sick.
100%.
Well,
It would be
the
sick
thing
if there's
is,
a
Cole,
T-Rex or like
they
a
already have
Mosasaurus,
like
but we don't
it's
have
not
this.
as though it would be a new species. Like it's that those kind
Yeah.
of things did exist. It's just like, oh, they still exist in this swamp. It would be
I would just
crazy,
be
but it wouldn't be
think
as if it's like
I mean, like I was just
literally
saying,
like
alligators have barely
nonsensical
evolved, so it's
sci-fi.
possible.
Pardon me, sir. I'm actually still talking. Pardon me,
Uh.
Cole. I'm actually still talking right now. Are you gonna
Already
interrupt
did
me
that.
this whole fucking podcast, Cole? Am I gonna have
Yes.
to come over there when I'm
Yep.
talking about the fucking dinosaurs and get you? I'm gonna have to take you out.
Yes.
What I was getting at, I don't even remember anymore because you interrupted me and I had to get down and get mad.
You didn't have to go on that.
I had
tangent,
to.
but
I had to, Cole. You gave me no choice.
I would have learned.
You gave me no choice.
Maybe.
I think
You gave me
sloth.
no choice.
I think a sloth should be as big as King Kong and then take King Kong on. Because
Sloth versus King Kong is a great concept for the next King
Yeah.
Kong movie.
like you just see him like on a skyscraper, just kind of like hanging there,
Slowly
and then
moving.
Kong's like rushing up, and then
Sloth
I don't
just like
even know.
slowly
Sloth is
turns.
just slowly
He's
climbing
like-
down the building like.
It's
King
like
Kong's
no contest. The sloth's just massive in comparison with King Kong or something. Like that's the only
Yeah.
advantage he
King Kong
has.
just like
King Kong goes up to like fight him, rips him off, then they both fall off the building, and the sloth just lands on Kong and crushes him,
That's
and
the
then
only
he
Kong.
just kind of like stands up. Everybody cheers because like the sloth hasn't hurt anybody. He just really likes to hang on the skyscrapers.
I like it.
They were like,
Who
we could have
owns- who
sacrificed
owns-
that skyscraper and Kong could have survived, but he just insisted on attacking. He said, that's my skyscraper, that I'm famous for that skyscraper.
That's my thing. That's
Everybody
where I finish
just-
every movie.
Feeds him every day, gives him some leaves.
I don't think we're ever gonna see King Kong on the Empire State Building, or is it the Chrysler Building or the Empire State? I think it's the Chrysler Building that King Kong used.
It was a big building. I remember.
It was the
as a-
Empire State Building.
Yeah, I thought it was the Empire State because he's
The
holding
Empire
onto
State
the
Building.
thing at the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah, it's the Empire State Building.
What's it called? I don't feel like we're ever gonna get that in like the new King Kong movies, just because he's like they made him way big.
Yeah, they're
40 feet, but
they're
he's
so
like,
big now.
I feel like if you like try to hang on it, it'd be like if you try to hang on one of those trees that's only like 7 feet tall, so you stand on it, it just immediately goes like yeah, you just immediately fall sideways. I would love to see it, but that's a bad day for New York.
They could just have him be in a new city where there's like a bigger building being made.
King
It's
Kong
not too
in the
bad,
land
yeah.
of giants, and then he's just a regular sized gorilla again.
Oh, that and then they
But
just
a
scale up.
gorilla with his hammer or sword or whatever he
It's
had.
his God of War hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
was
so it's just
unnecessary.
King Kong, but in the land of giants. So he's just a regular sized gorilla with a hammer
axe.
and
I like it.
hammer axe. So he has to go through
Just
all.
axe.
He's got to take over the world by just being a regular sized gorilla.
I mean, a
Except-
regular sized gorilla, like a gorilla would not be able to take over our world, but one on one, if he kept it one on one encounters, he's gonna win.
One by one, he took down
Literally.
every giant, slowly becoming the king.
Dude,
The
that would be
king
such
who
a
was
great
always meant to
movie
be.
because like he would have to
Thank you,
like
Jared.
he'd have to like he'd have to move on from the fact that he's not large anymore. So like he'd constantly be thinking about it. He'd see like a big building and he's like, I used to fuck that shit up.
Come
Uh,
all the way to the top.
Now
Used to
I'm
be
just
the man.
now I'm just walking around killing giants.
No, my God, this is axe.
He keeps
And-
trying to like lift cars and stuff, and he's like, "Man, I used to put these on as shoes."
This is bullshit.
I can like flip one, but like I can't like throw one.
And the name of the movie is King Kong, Ape in a Giant's World.
King Kong.
Small.
Small world, also small ape.
It's also
Well, you know how he's like in the new movie, he's like in the earth, like his home
Yeah.
is kind of like in
Yeah.
the center of the earth. What if there's like a center, and that's where the giants live? So
They
he
just keep going
just,
down.
he just wants the center on it, but he doesn't really want to mess with the humans, the regular sized humans, because then he becomes giant again. He's like, that's not a challenge.
That's not a chance.
After mastering the regular humans, Kong decided to kick it up a notch.
I mean, Jared, you were in Kong versus Godzilla. You were kind of right. And he went down to the center of the earth, like everything else was his size. So
Yeah,
that he was just an ape with an axe.
exactly.
But he's
Oh,
not
wait.
taking. He's not taking on regular humans. He's taking on different
Giant monsters.
I mean, he's all on his own too.
Well, I mean, he
Alright.
lived down there. Like that was his
Is that
kingdom.
where he lived?
That's where he
seemed
got
like
that.
he seemed like he didn't remember. Like when he got
Yeah,
down there, it seemed like he was all new to him.
He's got he's got memory loss. You know, don't. He's a
All the
monk.
battles. He's
Well,
a
how much
monkey.
He's monkey.
It's like he doesn't
is.
remember until it's like a dog. Like he doesn't remember who his owner is until he sees his owner, and then he's like, "Oh, life was different. Life was different with you.
Oh, I
Things were
remember this.
good.
Things were on the up and up." Yeah, and so that's what happened to him. He was like, I live on the top of the world. I'm a big thing." And then he went back,
A big
And
thing.
and then he went back underneath the world, and he's like, "Oh, this is where I belong. See, here's my
Exactly.
hammer.
This shit was sick.
I
I
gotta-
gotta be on top of the world.
How do
Like,
I
he
know
has
this hammer
absolute-
is mine? I've got opposable thumbs, only one that can wield it. Screw all the other guys down here."
He's like, I beat all the humans. I'm kind of tired of this Godzilla guy who keeps coming around. I'm gonna go check this other stuff out. See
I don't
what's
got
going on
laser
down
breath.
here.
He seems to pull that out a lot.
I don't have government funding, so it's just me and my rock and my stick.
I've applied for
I just
several
want-
loans, but I've been denied.
They say
I just wanna
I'm
go
too,
to the
too
giant.
big.
I'm too big.
I'm too big.
Dude, you know what would be great about that story too? Is that Godzilla could fall in love with a giant woman like he always does, except
Oh, and then he has to
Instead of-
defend the
instead
giant.
of the giant woman like getting like dragged or the woman being dragged around by Godzilla, the woman takes him in, and he's just kind of like a little monkey that they fall in love with. This
What?
is a great movie premise.
What?
I like
You
the idea
lost
of
me so
Godzilla
hard.
going down and then Godzilla being like actually small, like he's just the size of like like a Yorkie.
gecko.
He's just
Yeah,
like,
like
a
a
little,
Yorkie.
a little
Yeah,
dog,
thinking
and they're
a little
like,
Yeah,
gecko.
and
"Come
that's
here,"
what
and he's always trying to like set shit on fire, and they're like, "Godzilla," and they give him like a little steak, and he like cooks it himself, and
His
they
name
all,
couldn't
all the
be-
giants clap, and they're like, "He's so well trained."
I feel
But he
like
really wants to take everybody down.
Yes, ultimately, he's plotting ways to increase his size. What if King
feel
Kong
like-
and Godzilla were both like really tiny?
that's what
And it
I
was
was
just
thinking.
like normal people, and then you just have it's like they adopt Godzilla and then they adopt King Kong. It's like a giant family that went to the rescue shelter, and then King Kong and Godzilla are like fighting, but they're just little tiny guys the whole
Wouldn't
movie.
that
Tom and
really
Jerry
just be,
situation.
Yes.
Exotic pet fighting though.
Well,
Well,
but
no,
it
you
wouldn't
wouldn't
be on
try it.
purpose.
They just already have the beef. The giants don't want it.
Oh,
It
and they would have
Godzilla
to
and
be
King Kong are
wouldn't
like,
be on
I'm gonna mess you up.
And they're like smart, so they like don't misbehave in front of the giants. But then when the giants like walk out of the room, they're like blasting each other, and King Kong's like, "Ah."
That's
But
great.
he's tiny, so it's like a quiet high noise. He's like,
Dude, and there should be
He's
a
like a
scene.
salt shaker and like throws it.
Yeah, there should be a scene where they're both at a museum and then they get left alone, they're fighting, and then like they're in like a miniature exhibit with like in New
Oh
York
my-
City. There's like a
yes.
miniature of New York City,
Dude,
and then they
they're,
start fighting there.
straddling.
I was just thinking there should be like a rat or a mouse that Kong does the rip their tongue out move on, but it's just like a little mouse. He's just like,
So we gotta make this movie.
yeah. So when are we starting production on this?
What is it
this
even
film?
called?
It's called New Pets.
New
Zilly
pet.
versus Congus.
Zillow and Kongu fight.
Lizzo
I like Kongu.
Glizzy and Glizondus throw down in the ring. Wait, what if they get
That's some kind-
stolen from the Giants at some point, though?
Yeah, that'd be towards the end.
And then, wait, they get stolen, and then this guy actually does put them in fights. And so then they're like fighting against whatever the Giants normally have as pets, and it's just like other monsters and stuff. So it would be cool.
And they realize they have to work. Fighting is like it's fun.
It's like
but when
tag
it comes
team.
down to it,
Yeah.
they're with each other.
The only way they're gonna get out of there alive is if they work together.
Yeah.
And then they fight all the other
Lizzie and Monkey
Um,
action.
pet-sized monsters
I
to
think,
get out.
and the whole movie, there is no reference to the fact that they're small. There's never any comment. There's never any like
You don't even show how it
context.
happens.
They never get big. Like no, people will see the trailer and be like, how are they gonna get big again? They never get big. They're just small. They're just pets now. This is a world where giants have monsters as pets, but Godzilla and King Kong are still the main characters. And the dad of the giant family is played by Will Ferrell.
No,
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn.
And
Vince
his
Vaughn.
wife,
Sandra Bullock.
yes, and they have one son.
Um,
The Stranger Kids thing.
That's who I was
Stranger
thinking.
Things
I want
kid.
to come up with somebody better.
for some
the
reason,
Dustin, the guy with the curly hair.
I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
That's the main
having
one.
their child be like Gandalf would be funny.
Gandalf?
Yeah, because
It's like the reverse of Lord of the Rings, where they did like the hobbits, making the hobbits look small and Gandalf look big.
Yeah,
They're like making Ian McKellen look like really tiny, and then the giants are just normal people that they make look big.
yeah. It would just be a tiny old man.
Giants
Who would-
suffer from the Benjamin Buttons thing, where they just like look
Dude, we
really
could put
old
so
when they're
much
kid.
More of giants into this movie, how they actually all have Benjamin Button disease.
It's just like an underlying story, like the plight of the giants and like the struggles that they go through medically.
Which we could explore through the villain and show like why he's doing the things he's doing.
And
Who
that's
would
the
play
reason.
The villain?
That's the reason they adopted Kong and Godzilla, is because they're like emotional therapy beasts.
Yeah. The fact
Is
that
anybody
they're
thinking a
gonna die
trilogy
being-
with all this content?
Definitely. One of them could
I
be.
feel like I feel like make one movie and then explore the sequel and then sell the rights. That way, we keep getting money, but we're not associated.
And then we can complain that
less
they took
work.
it in the wrong direction, and then
I'm
get
thinking
brought back
Terminator.
on when we run out of our money, and then we'll
Yep.
make another one. That's 4
I'm
hours
thinking
long.
either a Ghostbusters or a Terminator
hours.
situation.
I like
Yeah.
it. Well, that was. Well, I think
That was a tangent.
that was quite
We s-
something. We really explored
Started the
that.
book.
We didn't even get
Went
to step one.
Alligator. No, we did not.
But we do have multiple steps of what is becoming one of the best screenplays ever written.
Dude, it's gonna be so good.
Well, hit up Warner Max.
I feel like figuring out how to wrestle free from an alligator after that conversation is just, we went from up here to like, okay, we're back down. Right, we got to fend off the alligator. Got to
Naturally.
not die. We'll just we can run through
Absolutely
it.
convoluted that process was too. Because like we could have easily just not gone through all of that and
But we
say
did.
that Godzilla and King Kong got shrunk in the normal world, but we made a giant world.
It's different. It's
It made
different.
them pets in it. Okay, sorry. Anyway,
What if the
Yeah,
trilogy? What if it's really not about Godzilla and King Kong at all? Like they are in it, like as side characters. The first movie, like they have a pretty crucial role in the film because the giants are learning to deal with their stress. But then the second movie, they're just like background characters, and the giants are the main focus.
We're gonna lose a large part of our audience that were into the first movie.
They'll still be in it, and they'll have like funny moments, like funny, cute, like like those kind of moments. Like the audience will be watching it, and they'll be like, Godzilla! That's what they'll say, because Godzilla will do a little flame on something.
They still should have like a pretty big part, but they shouldn't be the main character.
Well, they're gonna have a pretty small part due to their size. They're gonna be very small.
Small size, big screen time.
Yeah, small size, big screen time.
Who should we talk to about this? Should we
I
get in
told you, Warner
contact
Max.
with
Warner Mac. They
Warner?
own Godzilla, right?
They do.
Rights to Godzilla. Yeah, to Godzilla.
Not
Call
our
Harvey
kind of
Weinstein?
Godzilla, though. This is a
But if we're
totally.
calling him Godzilla,
Let's call up Harvey.
We'll call him King
King Chaka, King Tapuba.
King Konk.
King Konk.
King Konk and Godzilla.
Godzilla. Here comes Godzilla.
No, here comes King Konk and Godzilla.
that's what the Giants call them, but
Yeah.
secretly. But
In the
secretly,
credit,
they are King Kong and Godzilla.
in the credits, we can have King Konk played by King Kong and Godzilla played by Godzilla.
Yeah.
Loophole.
Godzilla's introduction in the movie is like, the movie starts out and it's like in the water, and it's like super serious and like it's like shaded and there's clouds everywhere and stuff. And then it's like the classic thing where you see like some of his spines come out of the water, and then you just see someone's hand and they're like taking a bath, and Godzilla's just like playing in the water. And it's just like the steam, and he's just swimming around.
He's like blowing like his fire breath into the water to make it like bubble for the
Yeah.
person in the bath.
He's like lighting candles with his atomic breath.
Yeah.
If we copy the entire same scene from the most recent King Kong movie of him like waking up, except he's just like in like the lawn.
Yeah.
He's like in the backyard, like in the garden.
Yeah.
And the whole
like this.
time, if you look really closely, we have Godzilla holding Bryan Cranston the entire movie. Like a super tall, super small Bryan Cranston.
Like ant size.
Like
he
Brian,
brought-
you
he
almost
brought
can't
him
see him
from-
at some points.
Yeah, it's a little Easter egg because it is a continuation story.
Yes.
But he brought him and just never let him go. And Bryan Cranston's just like very too small to even be comprehended. So he's just kind of like.
Most of
And
our
we don't
budget will
address it at all.
actually
It's just for
go
the
into
notice.
making sure that he's almost invisible, but still very much a
Yeah.
crucial part of the film. If you look in the
fully
background,
animated. And
The
if
whole
you zoomed
movie
in
is
on
his
him,
story.
he looks beautiful. That's where we put the best CGI.
yes, we spend
The-
no other money on CGI,
produ-
all practical effects.
Dude, you have
Producers-
no idea how good we had to make the resolution just so you could notice Bryan Cranston.
All
So
for the
you guys-
fans.
Do you want to know how to wrestle free from an alligator,
Yes.
guys?
Of course.
Dude,
Let's
I
learn.
so badly
Let's learn.
do.
We need to know. We need to know. Okay, step 1. We're fighting alligators now. Step 1. If you're on land, try to get on the alligator's back and put downward pressure on its neck, which will force its head and jaws down.
Okay.
So,
Back.
okay, that makes sense.
Down.
Back, neck, back, neck. Cover the alligator's eyes.
Poke him out.
This will usually. There's a typo in this. This will usually make it more sedate.
Sedate?
Cover the alligator's eyes. This will usually make it more sedate. That's what it says.
You puncture it.
It was close. It was close.
They tried, but they really missed the D there. Number 3, if you're attacked, go for the eyes and nose. Use any weapon you have or your fist. Thankfully, my fists are licensed weapons due to my black belt in martial arts.
Also, if I already have a weapon, you don't think I'm already using that? Like, that's step 1 for me. If I'm getting the death roll by an alligator,
You're just like
I'm
holding
not,
an
I'm
AK.
not trying to rethink what step 1 and 2 were. I'm going straight to my weapon if I have one on me, stabbing
Like a
it in the
chainsaw.
eyes. I'm
That's
not
why
covering its eyes when I have a weapon. I'm grabbing the weapon and stabbing its eyes. Can we just skip some of these steps? Go straight to if you have weapon, stab in eye.
They
That's
just
why
totally
I
avoid
always
that.
bring my-
We gotta assume. Okay, so here's the first theoretical scenario. You're walking in the forest. You have a gun. The alligator is sighted with your eyes. You shoot it. The situation is completed. Okay, that's the one. Oh, and if you have a knife, you just
Hey,
be
don't
careful.
You
Be
throw it.
careful, but you stab. And
You
then
stab.
now
Throw.
we will go into the third scenario where you
Okay.
have nothing. Because, there's a chance. That said, I would imagine if you're like, this area might have alligators, you would think maybe I ought to bring a weapon out here. There's a lot of alligators. Instead of just walking out there. But there's a chance that maybe.
Can you
Maybe.
like scratch up an alligator's scales?
How
Like,
how hard is it?
can I just like go with my hand?
I don't
and, like,
think so.
Scratch
No.
an
No.
alligator.
Not with
No.
your nails, probably, but with like a knife, yeah.
Oh, with a knife for sure.
But
But
not
how
like
hard
that.
are these?
How hard
scales?
is it? Is it harder on the back too?
Yeah,
It's
for
got to be
sure.
harder on the back. His belly
Maybe.
is.
Maybe not though.
No, for sure. Yeah,
Maybe.
most weak
Maybe
spots
not.
on animals are their bellies.
That is
Yeah.
true. Well, we know that the neck, the eyes, and the nose, and they literally said, "Wait, cover the eyes." Isn't that odd? That
is
was the
weird.
second one. Cover the eyes. I didn't really process that when I read that.
I'd be like jamming my
can't see.
thumbs in
Yeah,
the
no,
eyes.
I'd want to
Cover
blind it.
them.
Guess who? Alligator's like, lunch.
It's either Lunch or Jerry, and I hate both of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yo, have you guys seen the video of the freaking people? It's like these people in the river, and they're fishing with chunks of meat, and it's for piranhas. They literally just like put
Oh.
a chunk of meat in the water,
What?
and then they just dump it in the. Yeah, look at this.
Let's observe.
Freaking nuts. By the first one, yeah.
Whoa, dude! I would not be sitting that close to that. Look how close he is to
Yeah,
all of
he's
these piranhas
sitting
that are
on,
just
like, a
freaking out.
bar. Yeah. One slip up and
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about falling in. I was thinking like one of these could grab your toe. But you're so right. He's just sitting crouching. If he just falls in,
yeah.
they're like, bigger meat slice.
He's gonna string attach.
Olha,
to
isso
him.
aí que é fartura de piranha.
That is
Look how
some.
instantaneous. Like, it must be terrifying to swim in those waters.
Look how many he's already pulled out.
It's kind of weird that they all just like let go once he pulls it out of the water.
Well, they probably eat the chunk that they just
Oh, they bite off the
biting.
chunk. That makes sense.
and then fall out.
Yeah,
Wow.
Their teeth are like little razors.
That's
Isn't that
awful.
nuts?
No, thank you. And to that, I say no, thank you, piranhas.
Dude, Piranhas are nuts.
I wonder if this book covers piranhas. There's a chance. It's
I
like,
wouldn't
get
do
out
it
of the
with
water,
that. Yeah, get the hell out of the water.
and if you're in the water, get out of it.
Resist mentally.
Use your your leg that is now
Turn-
bitten off and
attempt-
chuck it elsewhere to try to defer most of the piranhas somewhere else.
Attempt
Maybe
to
cut
turn
off a few
into
fingers
an
and scatter
inanimate
them about.
object. There's a chance that you have this ability. You may not know what you're going to turn into, but focus.
Bring a barrel of horse cum.
Gosh.
Still have not finished the steps.
Okay, we're making it, though. We're moving it. All right, step 4. If its jaws are closed on something, you want to I'm reading this really bad, and so I just thought the sentence was over like 4 times, but there wasn't even a comma. I was just like stopping after words. It was totally changing the meaning of the sentence. Okay, if its jaws are closed on something you want to remove, for example, a limb, tap or punch it on the snout. Alligators often open their mouths when tapped lightly. They may drop whatever it has taken hold of and back off. So, to be clear, cover its eyes,
Tap its
then
nose.
attack its eyes, then tap its nose. How many hands do I have in this situation?
Well, it's
And
in
if I
quick
have all these
succession.
hands, so you're telling me I'm like, and then
Yeah,
the alligator's just like, shit, dog, shit. I did not know that you
That's
were going to be
everything.
this prepared. Clearly, you've been watching the Worst Case podcast.
Dude,
That
I can't
level of
believe
excellence.
that it wants me to cover its eyes and then tap its nose. Like,
No, only if
what
you
kind,
guys are
of,
missing.
what kind of situation do you think I'm in? I'm not here to play like
It's
peekaboo with
it's
this
an animated alligator.
alligator.
An
You're
animated
tapping its
friendly
nose.
alligator.
Yeah, like if I'm in the wild, okay, which is where I think I would interact with
Yes.
this
Safe
sort
to
of
assume. Safe to
You
assume.
know?
On what? Yeah.
I'm not going to be calm enough to simply just do these things.
They
That's why you
forgot
refer
Step
to the
one, I'm
alien
gonna
steps.
go
When
straight
you
up
calm.
primal, instinctual. I'm not covering his eyes. I'm not tapping his nose. I'm freaking jamming my hands into his sockets and like grabbing his snout and freaking like throwing it around. I'm doing anything I can. What is with this tapping and covering peekaboo?
Give it a little boop on the snout. Try
Tap its
rubbing.
right knee.
Try scratching its legs. It might have an itch.
Right? Twist
Grab
it.
its tail
Stop
and
it.
wiggle that a little bit.
Check to see if it has any chunks of meat stuck in its teeth. Getting them loose might help.
Try to see if
Maybe
it
he's
speaks
just
Spanish.
angry. Try coming back another day.
If you have any meat on you, give it to the alligator. Maybe he'll forgive you.
Wish
If
him
you
your
do
best
not-
regards.
Choose which arm you like the most. The other one might have to say goodbye to that. Okay. Let's get back. So let's just run back quick. You're on the land. So we're ignoring the fact that you might have just encountered it in the water.
We're
Which is
on
our
land. I
initial
keep
debate.
forgetting that
So
we're on
just
land.
never get in the water. On land, you get the alligator on the back, pressure on its neck, cover the eyes. And the step 3 about go for the eyes and nose, it says only if you are attacked. So it's thinking
You guys
that
messed up.
it's thinking that somehow you're going to just get on top of the alligator, and then he's going to be like, okay. And then you get off, and then he just goes away. And he understands. There's a mutual respect, which I don't think has ever happened, actually. And then
Dominant.
if its jaws are closed on something you want to remove, tap or punch. So now, if the
No
alligator gets you in its jaws, you must prevent it from shaking you or from rolling over. These instinctual actions cause severe tissue damage. As we saw before, ouch.
Kind of a fuck situation.
So
So-
basically,
So don't have it thrash around when it bites you. That was his advice. Was don't or try to.
Yeah,
negate
that's
What do
why you
I
get.
it just
That's
says
why you get on
prevent
top
it.
of that alligator.
Yeah, you got to
And,
put
like, you
all your
hold down
weight
its
on its
snout.
neck. But like,
Yeah.
dude, you're imagining that what your weight and strength of like trying to go like this is stronger than a big alligator just being like.
Winnie, you gotta look up the video. There's this video of this like alligator at, like, I don't know if it's like a sanctuary or something, but he had like a dental issue going on, and it took like a full squad of like 8 men to like sedate it to pin it down. I think it's a top one.
13 minutes of alligator.
No, you don't have to watch the whole thing, but like at one point when they tackle the alligator, the amount of steps that they do to make sure that it, like, A, is not in discomfort, and B,
In Townsville, saltwater
restrained.
croc Riley.
Dude, just
Let's
pop
see.
to like the yeah.
You do dee da ba da ba da alligator under operation.
Oh, dude, look at all
Yeah,
those people.
Yeah,
on
I'm
there.
sure. Look at this. Look at this. We have step 1, alligator free. Step 2, the alligator has been tied to several trees. Step 3, the alligator has been tackled by no less than a herd of men.
Yeah.
Step 4, the alligator is put inside of some sort of
Dental
it's
contraption.
so what
It's like-
we've learned without even
like a
watching,
stretcher.
without even seeing, let's just see a bit of the struggle.
Riley's jaw.
Yeah, wow. Straight away, I get a picture of the issue.
Ew, dude, what is up with that tongue?
That's their tongue.
It's
That
like,
is literally dinosaur shit.
dude. Do you think they can taste anything?
No,
What-
it's like scabbed and like
Probably
dry.
most of their taste is with their smell receptor.
Issue
Don't
that
talk to
Riley's
me like
face
that,
in
Cole.
a normal position, and instead of it being reabsorbed,
Instead of it being.
it looks like another one's actually.
Now, what we're going to do here is we're just going to find where the alligator's missing the tooth, and I'm just going to poke that with my finger here. Yep, you see
Yeah,
how he
he-
gets angry when I do that?
he-
Yep, that's because he's actually just lost a tooth here. So I'm just going to prod that with my finger here.
He
underneath it.
Dude,
Yep,
they do.
just
they
going to
don't
He
keep
has, like,
prodding that
eight-
with my...
he has
It
like
hasn't been
8
reabsorbed,
teeth
it's
that he
tried to
pulls
find its
out.
own space and pushed into the side. Then another one looks like it's
Yeah, I'm
coming
just going to stick my finger right inside the alligator's tooth hole. This is where the tooth used to be, and this is now where my finger is going to go.
as well. So we've got
Yep,
multiple.
just going to do that a little bit more. Just going to put my fingers right inside there. All right, that's enough of that. Enough fingers in the beast. Let's carry on.
Yep. Because crime. Yeah.
I just don't see how...
Bizarre is this?
Oh, God, mine eyes have seen too much.
He
So
pulls
you
out
just
so
pull
many
out like
teeth.
a bunch of teeth.
He pulls out because it like lost its tooth, and then one went sideways and prevented one from like fully coming in. And when they come in, like the alligator's like, okay, I don't have to grow any more teeth. But because it never fully grew in, it just kept growing teeth, and it obviously
So
like
they
had
can
a
just-
giant.
Why can't our bodies just grow into teeth?
Because we didn't evolve like that. They're in more reckless
That's-
situations. So like
Go.
when they lose a tooth, it's more vital. Like I think sharks and alligators.
That's
constantly
sick.
grow
Every
teeth.
time he loses a tooth, he can just be like, ah, nah, bruh, another's coming in. Give me 2 weeks, I'll be ready.
Let's see when they
Give
let
me
it
2
go.
weeks.
Hang tight, hang tight.
That looks painful, dude. His nose, he's like...
I can't breathe, guys.
Do all baby animals have baby teeth?
That's a good
Oh, okay.
question.
That's a good question.
Cole, pull it up. Google it. Google it.
Cole, do it now.
Google it. Google it.
Jesus, I didn't know.
Google.
Jamie.
Google. 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 I'm
do
gonna...
all
Jared, let's sing the Google
animals
song.
have baby
Cole's gonna
teeth.
Google it. Cole's gonna Google
Most
it.
most mammals have
gonna
baby
Google
teeth, which allows jaws to grow, so no useless little gnashers are left for adult animals. Empathetically, yes, baby teeth are common in nearly all other mammals. The trait is almost certain to have been inherited from a single wobbly-toothed mammal ancestor that lived in the age of dinosaurs.
All bless the wobbly tooth
So
ancestor.
it's only for mammals?
Primarily, I guess, yeah. Every other animal it just grows with them.
Shall we see it escape? Watch as the beast escapes.
Alright, we're gonna do this.
All right.
Dude, honestly, think about how much happier that alligator is overall, though.
Hey,
Yeah.
He just got like
come on.
5
Riley's
bones taken
released.
out of his
He's
mouth.
a little ginger, but sure enough.
He's a
You
little
can't call
ginger.
him a
Little
ginger
ginger.
nowadays.
It's really
Can't call
not
people that.
nice. Of
I
course
don't
this guy
think
would say it.
all people that.
Amazing result.
Oh, I couldn't have done it without you and my
He was
Couldn't have
talking
done it
about
without
that
you.
guy. He was talking
Wow.
about that little ginger.
I just,
You think the guy's a little ginger? Couldn't have done it without him.
dude, there's no way. Okay, so we're gonna assume now you've encountered a very small alligator, like possibly one of the smallest, and now you're on its
Like a
back, and you
2-footer.
don't have any weapons.
Guys,
A small alligator you could just pick up and toss it down the street.
Wait,
Slightly bigger than that.
is
Slightly
Okay.
bigger.
is this for getting away from a crocodile or an alligator?
This is an alligator. That video we just watched was a
That was
croc.
for a crocodile. Crocodiles, I
similar.
think, get way
Bigger?
bigger.
Is that
They
true?
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Crocodiles get to be like, because saltwater crocodiles are like 21, 22.
So this is like the one that we saw in the last video is probably an
Little
alligator.
Yes, the first one that we watched, that was probably an alligator.
Look at it running.
They're
Oh,
calling
I
this
hate
beast
when they run.
Godzilla.
Have you guys seen this?
What?
Gator. Look at this. It almost looks like a joke.
Lots of people
Yeah,
on
it
social
looks-
media
It almost looks like a
claim the video was
joke.
fake,
Yeah,
but it's
She
not.
sounded so mad.
If I saw this thing, I'd be like, no way. I'm
This
not doing
has
it.
to be a freaking joke.
This guy looks cool.
What the hell is that guy?
Is really because it's faster walking that way.
Zoo Miami wildlife expert Ron
Zoo
McGill.
Miami
When you
wildlife
have an alligator
expert.
that big, it also shows you the impressive size. You know, think about yourself just doing a
Dude,
push-up.
That's
It's
what a
not easy,
dinosaur would look
okay?
like.
So think about
Standing up like
walking
that.
way.
Ugh, dude, if that's real.
How
So what
How
we've
many
learned
alligators
is
you see in
that
Florida, Jared?
Jared's
often
not
do you see
Florida.
alligators?
He's-
I've
he's
seen
in
like
South
I've
Sudan.
seen like two, but like never like the whole
Yeah.
thing.
the whole
The whole
beast.
shebang.
Yeah.
Dude, I would not be down with that. Were you
I
like
would not
in a
either.
boat on the water or something when you saw it, or?
I always just saw them in like a pond or yeah, because they're in like
Sus.
almost any body of water. Like you
Yep.
see a pond, there's probably an alligator in there.
What are they doing? I heard that.
Jesus Christ.
I was just listening to some podcast. Apparently, like the biodiversity that used to exist in Florida, like they always talk about how like with like all of the environmental change and stuff that humans have done, like the biodiversity's decreasing or whatever. But in addition to that, in Florida alone, the alligators are like solely responsible for a massive decrease in biodiversity because they've just been eating everything. Like and you can like look at the numbers of alligators versus the numbers of all of these other species that have declined as the alligators are just like, guess we'll move on to the next thing that we like.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. They must be stopped. They must be stopped. But the question is, how can we actually handle this alligator? And the answer, you can't. That's the
You can't.
if we're
The
talking the
alligator's
worst case, let's get down to the brass tacks here. Worst case, you encounter an alligator, you're dead. All right, that's worst case.
We deal with the fact.
From now on, the worst case is always just going to be you probably die.
You probably did.
So the
You did
final step that they actually give after being like, don't let it roll, is seek medical attention, even for small cuts or bruises, to treat infection, because alligators have a huge number of pathogens in their mouths.
Yucky. Yucky, gross.
I feel
Dude,
totally
isn't that-
safe from alligators.
Isn't that the sucky thing? Is that like back in the day and like a bunch of animals, like if you just don't have anything to deal with a cut, you could just die from that crap.
It's crazy it doesn't happen more often. Sometimes I get a paper cut and I'm like, you know, I don't put a Band-Aid on or whatever because it's just a little nick. And then I'll think to myself, like, the next day when it's, like, healing back up, I'm like, what if I just touched something weird yesterday and then now it's, like, in my bloodstream or something?
Well, yeah, but that's why we have, like, antibiotic, like, cream or you
Right,
can
but
take
I'm saying,
antibiotics.
I'm saying, like, we
that
don't
didn't
do that
exist.
for little things. Like, get a little cut
Oh,
on
yeah.
your leg or cut on your foot. Like, I kicked something the other day and my toenail started bleeding. I didn't get,
Well,
like, a Band-Aid.
we can survive that stuff, like, no problem. That's not usually, like, the kind of... Even back then, they didn't die from small paper cuts. Like, they could have if they cut something crazy and it was a decent-sized cut. But, like, if they got nicks and stuff all the time in the past as well. Like, that we evolved to
also have
that
to
stuff
think of
fine.
how
It's like when you have like a
clean.
giant gash where it's like that could
Yeah,
be.
You can get small cuts infected
but
though.
but
Like you
no,
Well,
scrape
yeah,
your
no, you
knee.
can, but it's not gonna
even
be.
with
It's not gonna kill you.
It could if you don't get it treated. My old roommate, had a cut on his leg that he went after like 3 days to the doctor about because it turned like black, and they were like, yeah, if you hadn't come in like in like a week, there's a chance we would have had to cut off your leg.
yeah, but
Ooh.
the thing is like
But he would have lived.
there's something we can do about that
If he
now.
had come in a week later, Cole.
There's something we can do about that now. Whereas back then they could clean it and hope for no infection, but now we can help the infection even if it does come.
Yeah,
Whereas
dude,
back then, if the infection came at all, you were screwed.
dude, and
So
they're like
that's why a little cut can still kill them because they couldn't like fix that problem once it inevitably happened.
cleaning
I
it
never-
in like a stream or something, like some dirty pond.
Exactly. There's no
Ugh.
clean places to
I wonder if
do
I
that.
wonder if they would boil the water that they use to help clean wounds, if that was a thing. Because like we figured out a while ago that boiling water makes water pure.
That's a good question. Possibly.
I don't know when they learned that. I would say probably earlier than medieval times, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Whenever they
Medieval
started using
times, it
soups.
seems like
When were chowders?
without any good information about the period, it seems like they had a lot of stuff figured out, but then there were just like some key things they were a little behind on,
Yeah.
like rights,
Well, that
Class
sanitation.
seems like the classic history thing there. Other than that, like, gosh, they functioned in old time. They functioned to the bare minimum, but nothing was good.
Nothing.
The government wasn't good. The army wasn't good. The frickin' health of the public was terrible. The cleanliness of everybody was atrocious. Like they used to throw buckets of their own feces just out in a ditch outside their
Disgusting.
house.
They would throw it like out the
Can you
window.
imagine?
You're
Yeah.
upstairs and you're just like,
Yeah. Can you
walking to work,
imagine
Walk on the street,
the
you just get shit dumped on you, and you're like,
would smell like back then?
got 3 piles of shit on me on the way into work today. Unbelievable. This is my best suit.
Was
I wonder if that's
throwing-
where the phrase "a load of shit" came from. That's a load of shit.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's from a large amount of shit. Like
You
a
think
load.
about all the
I
little
like mine
kids
better. I like
that
mine
were
better.
like so excited to take a crap in the morning so they could like throw their shit on people passing by.
Eagerly waiting at the window, like, there
Yeah.
comes Mr. Jenkins, get him!
The white shirt, get
like this.
him.
Widowed 80-year-old
He sent-
man.
He sent Papa to the poorhouse.
Send him the shit
Drop that
bombardment.
shit. He's got like all the homeless kids that are in the windows down the street, like, and then they all start singing a song. They're like, "Fuck Mr. Jenkins, he's in the banking." And then this is now the musical number that's at the end of the King Kong movie. That
yeah,
is the peak of the musical part of the film. Which leads me to, I think it's that time when we give a little song, a little shindig, a little ditty to one of our friends, and yeah, we're gonna pick a name from the bowl of the just so many people. I think we Joshua, Nathaniel, Joshua,
Joshua.
Joshua, Jishu. All right, Joshua.
Let it be heard.
Joshua.
This is
Joshua.
oh Joshua.
Joshua, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Joshua. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for listening.
And if you listen again, I'll still call you my friend, Joshua. But if you don't listen again, I'm gonna have to kill ya. And Joshua.
Gonna find you. We're gonna kill you. Joshua. Beautiful.
Beautiful. That was one of our better tracks.
Oh.
What do you think? I'll throw the
When's that going up
reverb
on SoundCloud.
Throw the reverb and phaser and delay on that, and it'll sound like we just stepped out of the studio right now.
We did.
We've just been in the studio recording another hit track. This one's called Joshua. This is featured in the soundtrack to the upcoming film King Konk Gottzilla. Small. I forget what we said the name of the film was, but it's being rewritten. It's just some slight title modifications.
Big world, small goals.
Small world.
It's a working title. We'll get back to
Little
you.
Planet.
Little planet.
Small
Big-
world, little issues.
Little big planet.
Small world,
Big
little
world. Small Cranston.
Big world.
Big Cranston. Small Richard Branson. Hey, do you guys hear Bryan Cranston talking right now? No. No, I think someone just said, "Hey, Mr. White." Do you hear that? Yeah, I heard that. He said, yeah, that's a great moment. And then the other part when he said, when in Star Wars.
There it is.
Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Just kidding. Y'all just got pranked. Just got pranked. It's actually the scene from Star Wars Episode 2, where Jar Jar is walking, and then he looks backwards, and he's like, remember that moment? Dude, it's like 6 minutes long, Cole. This just Jar Jar
fell.
It's literally
and had
just
that ball go flying past him, and he got up and was like,
the shot
and then he
starts.
started kicking the thing around.
The shot starts. It's a medium shot of Jar Jar, and then for 6 minutes, it's just a slow zoom into his eyes for 6 minutes. It's just
kind of
slow
like a
zoom the whole time.
Western where they go like back and forth between two guys' eyes, but instead of going back and forth, it's just Jar Jar's eyes.
But it still has the cuts, but it's just back to Jar Jar.
But it's just two different angles of Jar Jar's eyes.
It's just Jar Jar's eyes and then nothing. And it just keeps going back and forth. It's like the desert of Tatooine, Jar Jar's eyes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That sounds about... Wait, that sounds like... What does that sound? What? What is that?
I invited.
This is the sound of the end of the episode.
I invited.
Hello, end.
This is the part of the podcast when the podcast is over. They think the podcast's done. Podcast never ended. There was no music.
Oh, see, Winnie, you got me that time